So, are you still laughing now?
Me? Yeah, yeah, of course. I never stopped.
Well,
Just my abdominal pain made me a bit queasy, but even that's getting okay. So, yeah, I'm laughing a lot freer now.
it is a big pish, this, as you know. I don't need to tell you that. And we're only doing this as an exercise for the people who are still under some kind of illusion that if the individual who has been inside and done the time and not atturned themselves is now suddenly the one who has been ostracized, usurped, bastardized, slagged off, whatever you want to call it, then anybody with half a wit can see who it is who we all need to line up alongside. So I want you to know, and I think you already know that from the emails that I've copied you in with. First of all, anybody sending me an email about somebody else, you can rest assured that I will be copying in the individual that you're writing about, and we'll all have it out together, whoever it is who's got something to say. If we can't get ourselves on a Zoom, then the people that you've then, not you, but other people who then go and recruit other people to then contact me with flattering stories about various things that you may or may not have done to try to, what's the word, curry me up, curry a favour. It just defeats any kind of the last little bit of trust that I had in the direction of 3035 has gone straight out of the window. So I've had to sit and wait and watch, like I've done with everything else, to see the pattern being replayed over there, like it has been done here. And then lo and behold, he sent me a screenshot of Facebook, which everybody knows that I am not on for reason because obviously the information that we've got and the way that we present it is so effective that why would they block me if they didn't want me to carry on sharing this stuff? So instead, we've got these wannabe MFNs who have filled the void that is left when they pick us up and put us inside. And then it all comes out. There's no, with the amount of disclosure that's coming out, if we can force them to move Parliament from London and they have to implement our Distamare reset community structure in each community and everybody's got the rights restored to them, then people need to give their heads a shake if they think that we can't see the pattern that's being replayed as far as being usurped goes. We've all practiced being usurped for a very long time. So it's obvious what it is that's going on. But me being me, I'm not going to act until I've got all of the evidence. So people posting stuff then and claiming that this is proof of claim out of context, and then exposing themselves really in their contradiction of what it is that they are saying that they are doing or what they stand for. For the record, we don't give a shit about any slave tokens. We haven't, obviously, we haven't needed any because we haven't fucking had any, either of us, quite a long time, any support whatsoever as far as slave tokens goes. So when I see the likes of somebody using the title Dave Harding, still part of the Facebook reach that 3035 is using as an outlet, um, then I am compelled to speak out about it, because the comment that's on there, and then maybe it's an idea to when we upload this to YouTube is to put these things that these people say in the thumbnails or some way of being able to overlay it onto the video. so that people can see that these individuals who talk
I can share screen if you want.
about you can, yeah, do that if you like.
Yeah, let me just pull up the.
And so saying that ULCT is a Ponzi scheme. I don't know what your definition of Ponzi scheme, but my definition is where people profit from other people's stuff and drip feed them the information. No, nobody's got rich in slave tokens out of this. We've been lucky. The amount of cost in slave tokens hasn't come into it until now. When people are asking, not for the money, we don't care about the money, but there was a commitment that there would be accountability. Otherwise, the structure becomes something that resembles a profiteering Ponzi scheme by those who.
Can you see this?
Yeah, and so that on there just goes to show what we're really dealing with when it comes to these people who, and for the record, these people have become attorned. Dave Harding attorned himself for a council tax charge that was in the title for Minister Emma Benn, and because he didn't know what he was doing, he obstructed the process with his own ignorance and then slagged us off and said it doesn't work. So, I mean, all of the rights being restored, the right to roam, the ability to be able to now prosecute people for gross misconduct in public office, the restoration of the judicial system. It's all out there, and these people who refuse to see that are the people who've taken it upon themselves, such as people like the individual that you can see on that comment there, to try to define this, because it just can't fit in a capitalistic mind. Cannot comprehend why anybody would do what it is that we've done and carry on doing it, even though we know that we haven't got the support that everybody's promised. Whether that's, I'm more interested in you 5 hours a week, like I've always said. That's why we took the kindness credits accounts offline, which somebody has taken upon themselves to joinder with Universal Community Trust site, which was, we find out, is a mask for ulct.org, which is the use of acronyms, which is something that we're not supposed to be using. Acronyms are for ambiguity. Acronyms are like CPR being the thing that you resurrect the dead with, but also criminal procedure rules and civil court procedure rules. So why people would use acronyms for something that needs to be spelled out like it was, and it's unabridged or unabbreviated. What's the word? Title, if you want to call it a title, or the words that go form, or in the way that it's been spelt. And it's spelt like that for a reason. This is all about a spell. And it's about the comprehension that the people who are running around claiming to be able to take what it is that's been given to them freely. I did say that everybody could share the book and use that Ministry of Mind book and the other data that has taken all this time to be able to produce freely, and use it then and say, look, okay, here you go. You feel like you're getting something for something, because that's what people need to think. Don't get out for no. Okay, here's a book that you're going to get for free, but you all think that you can't value something if we go back through all of the Zoom calls. people saying, well, people think it's too good to be true, and because they haven't paid for it, they've got no value to it, and all of this. Like, okay, well, if you haven't got anything in your community except a mindset like that, then to break through that barrier, there's a book there given to you for you to be able to say, would you like to make a contribution towards supporting the community that we're all going to come together and create then around the knowledge that's come out of this book or this document or whatever it is that however you've applied these things that you've learned. So for me to find out that somebody's going and drip feeding this information, just like Artemis Soros did in Greece, it's horrific to imagine that they then contradict themselves and say, well, it's not that, it's this. But actually, this and that is the same thing, but you've just tried to dress it up in another way to try to dance around the root of the focus of the point of all of this is that it was supposed to be given freely or for an exchange with somebody, and we're not interested, for the record, about the slave tokens. We've come this far without any. And so the slave tokens we're interested in. The questions have just simply been asked is, can you account for it, please? If you're using kindness credits and saying that this energy is converted into slave tokens and you're going to unlock it through kindness credits, then just give us a rundown of what it is that you took and where it went, and where is your community that you have now created, and how many people have you helped with that. And that's all we asked for. But instead, what we've got is numerous people now and only now being given the kindness credits email to now contact me to say, well, what a wonderful individual she is. Compared to what? Compared to somebody who might be a little bit short with people because he's better for telling everybody the same fucking thing again and again and again, when it's so simple to maneuver yourself through this system that doesn't really exist unless you give it consent for it to appear real in your life. And because they don't like the way that the presentation of this information is given, instead of it being sugar-coated or glossed over, it's delivered to you like a blow to the head with a rock instead, because it's that. It was the right to be able to express yourself freely, and if somebody wants to take offense to that, get off the call. Don't come and try and manipulate the way that all of this is being presented that has worked so well, because that's part of the training. It's the desensitizing of yourself that as the system has made you into a fucking snowflake, all of you, that we can't say what it is that we feel, or we can't say, look, I'm really pissed off about that thing that you did, without somebody running around and saying, oh, I feel abused by you. Well, if you didn't do the thing that I've had to come and talk about, then you see, it's gaslighting. And this is the pish. Because I've sat back and done fucking zero all this time, instead, they know I'm not going to respond to a pish, an external pish from one of their agents. So they've come dressed up and disguised like they did when they did their fake exemplification at the tolls, just like the fake pictures that we see with the policemen standing with the ashamed MFNs that we've just had out there recently, and then come and try and take. Somebody sent me an email and said, did you know that 1160 is being COVID vaxxed? Why? Because there's a picture of him with his COVID clean immunity record on the internet. And now, so I want to know, why don't people know that that's what you were supposed to get in your welcome pack? Why have you not had this in your welcome pack? Have you not had your universal share of the bandwidth, which is responsible for evicting the likes of the Sheikh of the Bahrain from being able to claim the rights of the ether. You're not seeing this, people. We said we would restore universal law and all the rights that went with it for the anthropos, the people who are upon, and the rock of light. They can't dig it up. They've had to go and take as much oil out as they could before they ran out of time to be able to do that, and float it on boats, and now launder the hypothesis of you needing this oil so we can pump up the price, and then we can manipulate the markets, and then we can say, oh, is a ceasefire, and down it comes again, and then we can sell more shares then because the price is low for the shareholders to buy the shares in, and then oh no, I'm going to bomb myself again and pretend that I'm a Houthi or a Tutsi, or Poland, or any of these hypothetical states. We've just got a court order yesterday to say from the Supreme Court where we smashed our way through to prove that the immunity that the foreign states were enjoying to do whatever the fuck they liked as a state, you couldn't prosecute these people till we did what we did. And what we did is that we were relentless. They called us that. Oh, you're relentless, or you're persistent, or you're tenacious, or you're rude, or multiple things.
I'll deem
But
you to be a terrorist.
to start with terrorist and work your way backwards. So the immunity that these elite policy writers of legislation that were benefiting from the non-disclosure, that's what we got them to do. We set up the non-disclosure so we could get them to break it. We used Uniform Commercial Code so that they could say it was unlawful. We nowhere will you hear me say and defend Uniform Commercial Code. You'll never hear me defend that. You'll hear me say thank you very much for agreeing with us that it's a load of bollocks and that it's pseudo law. You'll hear me say that. And so my question is, if people have really done their due diligence, if you want to call it that, without any implication to the gyms, then why haven't they already? Why don't they already know that about the Newport, about the Hillston Park, and about us getting them in the court and them saying to us that it's pseudo law? We needed them to dissolve themselves, their own hypothesis, or somebody running around with a birth certificate trying to return themselves in a panic because they really weren't Minister Maven when they said that they were and took the benefits of being so. And then when push comes to shove, no, I'm going to contract. And I'm going to run around with a birth certificate or a passport or one of these things, and have them say have them say our words back to us. That is just a piece of paper. It's invalid. Somebody presenting a driving license told that it's fake and arrested. So now we're at the position where we're sending in these instruments and saying, okay, well, tell us about that as to what it is about that thing that is real. So we've got legal instruments used in these cases to try to move the compensation on the ways of costs that they've asked us time and time again. Would you like to put your name down as a defendant so that you can claim costs? Fuck off. Our rights are priceless, we wrote on the universal writ that went in to the King's Bench, Royal Courts of Justice, where the King's Bench was squatting, and said that here's the claim, misidentified as this legal fiction, a completely fabricated legal fiction, and here is what it is that we're claiming that you're all responsible for operating a slavery system, etc., and running a cartel and money laundering and robbing us of our rights, raping the people of their rights. You've seen who was doing that at the point of initiation is the police. You really think that all these policemen and chief constables have got sacked because of something that we didn't do? You show me one point in this hypothesis of time where you've been able to go and do what it is that you can now do, and then show me the one thing that changed, and it was because we secured it. Going around and saying, putting UCC 1308 or whatever, you're stepping back into you're giving it life in your mind. You're breathing, you're keeping it fucking going. So for the rest of us to have to go again and dissolve it again, it's the people who are running around as Minister of Event now who are sustaining and upholding UCC. I'm the secured party creditor. But hang on a minute. Are they not words that are defined under the definition of commercial code? Well, we used to use them. Yes, we did used to use them. And you were told in 2024, the Gregorian hypothesis that you all know as 2024, that we'd come through that. And then in 2025, you were told about us stripping ourselves of the use of these titles. And the fact that they came and said, well, we want to change everything to the name that you want to use. And at that point, then if they want to use Minestrone Ben in their boxes, that they that that it's a benefit for them. All the time that it hasn't been a benefit for them, they wouldn't put it in there. And then when suddenly they've got nothing left other than to come to say, cap in hand, please give us the right of use of Minister Emma Ben, and we'll do you a favour and give you a salad in exchange for it, and you'll be able to make a phone call or whatever after 6 months of being without it. So everybody who thinks this is a Ponzi scheme, give your fucking head a shake, because the benefits in this are priceless. And if you put priceless into any scheme whatsoever, it means that your rights can't be bought anymore. And you won't accept to buy them back as a privilege, and that's what we all did.
Like I think they forget that this is also equivalent to divine law. Like it's divinity in action. Why would you want to settle for anything less? It does not have a price. It
Even
cannot.
that,
It
I'm
cannot
not
have a
going with
price.
that. I'm going to stop you there because divinity, it's indefinable. Why would we want to put? We wrote a bit and called it divine. We didn't mean that it came from the thing that you call in divine. However, if we're not all the sons and daughters of the co-created uh, minions, let's say, or reflections of what other people imply to be divine, then,
Just in the sense of upholding the truth, and that's it. Like nothing more than that. Because all of us are the same. Every living thing is the same then.
and that's it. And
It
it's a
just
quote.
destroys every single barrier, border, whatever you have constructed in the mind, right? It is for that purpose, is to free your mind, to secure your mind in the nothingness that we are. So, and that's what our actions as Minister Maven, which does not have a contract. I'm the creditor of that legal title. People think that they are Minister Maven. I was told very early on, you're not Minister Maven. Separate the two. Yeah, and that's what I did. That's what I told everyone else as well. And that's what people
Go
are
and
not
look in
getting.
the mirror. Go and look in the mirror and tell me who it is you see. And you all say me. That's it. That's that. How many times and how many years and how many cycles and how many documents do people need? How many times have we got to go back into that, your imprisoned mind, and discharge the charges of your imprisoned mind? It cannot be done anymore. And I'll tell you why it can't be done anymore. Because just like old Winnie Williams said all way back when, that nobody can stand surety to somebody else. Done. That was mercantile law out the window. Why are people still referring to it? We've got a report today. The police are coming out trying to explain why they've been so bad at their job, talking about post-traumatic stress disorder and how they've had to all retire. And there's this ex-copper or an actor acting as an ex-copper saying that he'd had to retire because he felt like a prisoner in his own mind. These, we've got rid of the perverted, corrupted mindset that wants to capitalize on somebody else, not go and. Can you imagine a reality where everybody just sat silent for shut out the monkey mind, shut out what you've been told, just like we did, and ask the universe to show me what it is I need to see? Instead of looking on Facebook or looking for somebody else to tell you what it is that you need to think or do, or go on to which TV set shall I buy and ask 1,000 people their opinion. You're brainwashed. And so these people who have got very close in tight to us, and then I don't know anybody that I trust in the same way that I trust you, me, as 1160. And I'm saying that for the record because he is the one that I would have all day long standing beside me, or the one that I would call if I could, inside these detention places where they've had me in various places. He is the one that he doesn't add to anything that I've said to him. He's got his own amazing perception of it, and he makes it really simple. And that's why he is what he is and has done what he's done. And so if we're going to be defined by anything, let it be our deeds. I don't see anybody else in the bit of the rock that they like to call India doing what you did and doing what 1160 did and not attending themselves or screaming for a lawyer or making phone calls or going in there and saying, I want to get out of here, I'll be anything you want me to be. So the point that I wanted to make was when it gets to the point where they say, we're going to change your name to the one that you like to use, hang on, that should ring alarm bells there. Why do you want to do that? Why? We're doing atonement in reverse. So you've been pretending that I'm some legal fabricated fiction that you can't even spell that matches anything that you've got in order for you to indemnify yourself with, in the hope that I was going to say, no, it's not spelled like that, it's spelled like this, and correct the fraud with another false claim. And so when somebody comes and says that we weren't going to change his name to the one that you want, and well, I can't be much of a minister if I did that. I can't be the minister MFN that I have got in my mind that I think that I am, that has got me here again to come and rebut this presumption. If I'm right at this point, not aware that you need me to use the title minister so I can breathe life into your feudalism and your hierarchy mindset, or to join the perverts and paedophiles that have used minister to go and break the law behind. That's not what it now. It's time to put down minister at this point. And that's what I said to them. There's one of the girls in here who said I can't be much of a minister if I'm in here, minister of universal law, if I'm in here, but they don't realise that I'm in here because I did this on purpose to get myself put in here so that I could help them get out and rebut everything from the fucking Vagrancy Act to every other hypothesis they've got. And so, coming to think about it, the title minister has only been used, as all other titles have been used by the elite, to hide their unlawful deeds disguised as titles, using titles to paedophile on children with. So I'll tell you what, I said to her, the guard that had come to ask me, I'm stripping myself of the title. Well, what are you going to use? It's written on the door. It's been there all this time. Emmy, how do you spell it? She says and gets her pen out, ready to write on her hand, like it fucking sounds. M-me-m-e. And that's it. And that is the honest truth, that it's me is the name that you've been calling yourself well, forever, and that you've been walking about pretending you're alive, and and everything else is false. Anybody who comes to try to coerce you to use a name or use a title, that's it. You're done. You've gone and stepped into the fiction. And you've granted and assigned your consent to have capitalism come in on your rights and play the game of buying your rights back as a privilege. Whichever side of the fucking wall, the prison, inside a prison is, you are kidding yourselves. And so they talk about, you'll be able to get out of the matrix. Then just stop getting into it. And so this thing where I found out that she's selling the data now and drip feeding it. All right, if people have only got slave tokens and they put it in the pot, and it's not about centralizing it, a centralized pot, it's about accountability for what it is that you've done behind the things that you've been given the right of use of, that are that have been channeled, let's say, through somebody else. Can't even claim the copyright on it either, because it wasn't ours, it's original source. And it's flowed through us, and it flows in this way because it isn't obstructed by people having enough money or slave tokens to be able to access it. When I found out that she's doing these training courses, I said, we'll teach you this bit, then no. Wait, who are you to decide whether
There was a test
a test?
that she would take. This I've heard from multiple people. There's enough people who are ready to come on a call and attest to the same, by the way.
Oh, well, we need to
A
do this
test
and do it.
for to get an AOC, by the way. Can you imagine that? Wow. And they
Wow.
call us dictators. Yeah. So,
And what was the test? Has anybody got a copy of this
I don't
test?
know. No, I think she has it.
Well, well, let's see if I pass it then. Well, fucking hell. I just find it's enough to make your hair stand up or fall out, one or the other. When
No, just it's just I can't believe that she's still trying to defend her actions with
and this is what I've sat back and waited
yeah.
for, is because they
It has nothing
contradict.
to do with what claim have I made? I'm just waiting on the proof of claim that she of the
She's
nonsense you
got
said
nothing to,
before.
yeah. And this is what gives people away, right? Because
Yeah, exactly.
there is a pattern of obstruction and not direct talk, and try to get you go around in a loop where you've asked them a question and the answer is not quite what it is. There's a there's an acknowledgement of it, but we don't quite. Okay, so we've got your email, but now after all of these years of emails, from these emails to our emails, we're going to start again and say, what is it you want? Fuck off. Nothing from you. Nothing. We want nothing from these people. There is nothing that anybody who's interested in this cannot access if they so wish. You can't get it off the website because
I
it's
think
not
I
there.
should say this right now, though, that I think for the amount that I became a channel for to inform them of what ULCT is and the structure, I think they've got enough, and they should be happy. Her health is fine. We wish her nothing but the best, obviously. We just stop doing what you're doing, and that's it. Lead a happy life because you got all the slave tokens that you would ever want. You're from an okay background. You got the land as well. Now let the people who don't have the opportunity, contribute to the correct
Share
place and
it.
then learn
Let
how to.
them share it. No, don't be bothering with any contributions. The people who have saved their
No,
houses,
energy wise. Yeah.
and land and all of that. They're supposed to be sharing it. That's what this is about. We're supposed to be sharing this rock. Whether it's a line that I've drawn on the bit of Morocco and pretended it's Spain so I can pretend there's a fucking invasion,
Yeah, I'm
or
gonna
whether
have
it
some zooms to explain that over here because they've been hoodwinked. So they've gotten to know, I think, up close and personal how the political theater works in terms of misdirection and misinformation. So I think they are more keen to learn now. So I will have a Zoom with the community here as soon as all this gets resolved and they've
I've
made up
just
their
watched.
mind.
I've just watched one of their actors who came and infiltrated us a long time ago, 11 years at least ago, who has just acted out a role under the title Bush, which is one of ours. It supposedly come from a place called Kirk Ellis, who has just got 20 years for all of the charges that they've tried to put against us and were unable to get indemnified because they weren't true. We know you can't go and say, look, okay, I'm going to do this because I know the worst thing that they can get me for in the end because everything that you go in there with a clean conscience. You go in there and you say, right, okay, use me because I know I haven't done anything criminal. Charge me with all of the things that you are implying that everybody is guilty of in order for them to deflect from us really coming in as one thing and removing them by force physically like we would have done a few hundred years ago and hit me with your best shots and take me as the collateral so that you can leave the rest of them alone. Now, I don't know what fucking Ponzi scheme definition that is, or what it is. Somebody call me mental, call me whatever you like, but I knew that that was it. I made an agreement with myself and me, myself, and whoever it is, and said that I would give up my rights to have them used to restore everybody else's. Now, that should be priceless. And it was. It was labelled
So
as priceless.
so
We
what
could have had 1,900,000 over here for the claims and the costs that we've listed but that would have been the signing our consent to use fiat currency to even discharge it. We would have been assigning our consent to these fucking court forums that are the people who have done this to all of the other people. Take your £1,900,077 saying fuck off. No. Take this on top of it. Take 30 million for kindness credits and let us have it. No. So instead, what we've got are the people who. So instead, what they do is they send we won't join their culty cult. That's it. We got our own. Thank you. If you're going to call it a cult, let it be one that has people inside it who cannot be bought off, who will go and put themselves in a prison again and again and again until there isn't anything left of the system that was imprisoning people unlawfully to be seen. The parliament that was responsible for all of this picked up and moved, just as we said that was the only way to restore the rights of the community so that they could have their own funding and that they could have they could be responsible for what happens to the energy that's accumulated in each area. That's what's happening in this country, not in the country, in this bit of the rock. The borders are all collapsing because the borders have gone. The minute that they traffic somebody through the hypothetical border with no ID, and you stand there and you say, how have I got here without any ID? And you've got them on record saying you're in England now, you don't need ID. Okay. Oh, what is it that people have got to see to move them out of that belief that they say, oh, we need to be free from the system, but here I am drinking fucking Nestle. Have you seen that video of the guy who's living in a caravan in Cardiff? Screaming that about him being
no.
Minister Emma Ben? So he's recited and learned a bit of the things and heard some of the stories and some of the recall that we've done, where we've been explaining the ins and outs of what's happened while we've been in our, what do you call them, His Majesty's Service resorts.
Resorts.
And yeah, on our jolly holidays, sitting there without even being able to change our fucking menu or make a phone call, without being able to see a dentist or to be able to write a letter to your loved ones to let them know what's going on. That I don't know, people. I don't care, to be honest, whether these people who are going to, and their children who are inheriting the benefits of the restoration of rights didn't do it for a pat on the back, but I definitely didn't do it to have people take it and bastardize us for it. We're already been bastardized. We did this to stop being bastardized. So the fact, as a let's say a new uh, what do you call it, nugget of information or a nugget of truth or a bit of awareness, is if these people are who are running around slagging off the people who've been to prison for you all, then that should tell you who they are. That's it. And if you haven't got anything, if you haven't got access to the people who would do that, what you're doing is you're being farmed off into like a corral. It's corralled. It's like when you've got a protest and they kettle you and herd you into these manageable groups. That's what you're in. All of you people who are in the groups with 3035, you are being managed. Whether she's aware of it or not, I only she knows that. Whether she's doing this consciously or unconsciously, but the fact that when it's pointed out to her, it isn't, oh, let's get on a Zoom and let's have a chat about it, or can you point me out, or can you point out what it is that you mean? No, defend it. Stand there and defend it and contradict yourself, whether it's saying, I will have, you told me to stop collecting contributions in 2024, whatever it was. And then in the same email chain, are you telling me to stop collecting contributions? What? So
And
did
there's a
I?
video out now which I sent you a link for, and she's taken like 900 quid and stuff with the evidence like in paper in front of him for the transaction, and she's saying this in emails. Shocking.
Well, can you? Do you want to play that video now and share your screen? Have you got it?
Yeah, sure, sure. Give me a.
Because this is what we do. If we can expose the bastards that have been hiding behind state titles, and dissolve and rebut and destroy and remove all of the protection that they'd fabricated for themselves. And we get little pimps like this, because it's a pimp. She's pimping out something that she was given for free, and I've had to sit back and watch it all unravel. And in doing so, it exposes all of the other people
No,
around who are doing the
she's
same
gone and
thing.
said that she had a conversation with you while I was inside, and she said, you said, "What's your 5 hours going to be back to the trust as your contribution?" She said, "I'll teach people," and you said, "Voila." And that's her whole initial story. That's what her foundation is built on. That you said, "Voila," that she can go
That's
and
what
do this.
everybody said. That's what and voila, is that it?
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, if you were going to do minister training,
What
then you would
voila
have some
is?
form of communication on email for sure.
Of course you would. You'd be saying, she'd be
Yeah.
contacting you saying, I've got these questions, I'm not sure about this, or what, before I put fucking UCC or merge these documents together. If you haven't had bailiffs at your door for this with fabricated names to try to coerce you to return you from your Minister MFN standing, you haven't done it right. If they're not coming to your door, it's because you fed them and you credited them and because you played the role that they needed you to play, just like Dijon. And that's why his websites are up and ours are not. Because he is one of theirs.
I
He
think
worked
there's yet, I think there's yet
10
more to be discovered about this,
I'm
about
sure there
how
is.
deep 3035 is in this whole uh, mindset.
So what they
Because
do is
it's
they just let me
relentless.
just
The only
finish
thing
what I
is
was
she's been
saying.
caught red-handed and she's still on about it.
What they do is they get these people to
Psychopath.
replicate what it is that we're doing, and then they give them a little win, just like they do with the solicitors. You would never have a solicitor if you couldn't the solicitor didn't turn around and say, "Well, we won a case once." Just so if you go and have a look at peacekeepers, tongue in cheek, who have
Mm.
aggravated everything and taken and destroyed it really to pieces, which really was a website. It was a hypothetical virtual reality version. And the data was given to these people so that we could see what they did with it. Can they be trusted with it? And so, whether you're selling it back to somebody on a website or whether you're making out that one of your documents has stopped the bailiffs coming to the door, uh, and and that's it, and you've kept your house or whatever, you haven't been a minister of event, you turned into a Vatican Day slave and you paid them. We've seen the evidence. Or you're an agent. And so what they do is, like on the Peacekeeper site, you can see that they're actually mentioned in the JCS Matters magazine that goes to all of the magistrates. And they give them a glowing report in the middle of the Free Men of the Land article, where they're slagging everybody off and trying to define us all as free men of the land, which obviously is a complete contradiction until now. Because everybody's free now standing on this land because there's no claim that anybody can substantiate without committing false claim. And that's what we exposed. And so the fact that they've got one on there that's mentioned in this JCS Matters saying, well, they did score a win with the council tax or something. Ah, well, they've fingered you. They've just pointed the finger straight at you. And for anybody with eyes to see or consciousness that they can tap into, you can see who is who and what is what. The one thing that worked and what brought them down is the one thing that they slag off most. The things that they congratulate and give audience to or publication of or point you in the direction. If you've got somebody from CPS saying, oh yeah, this is an article about abusive process and how they use the words abusive process can throw off a judge or a magistrate, and this is us telling you what to do if people say that, and in there you find a reference then to peacekeepers in a positive way, while they slag off the people who have brought down their definitions that they were using to obscure their unlawful deeds through, then for me, you don't even need somebody to explain that to you. Surely that's obvious enough. That if these people, in the same way, if you want me to use Minister and Ben, that's what I was saying, screaming at you. Do you remember when you came back and you said, or they'd released one, you'd got one of the MVens out and they'd put Minister MVen on it and they'd put endorsed by a copper. What, so
Yeah. That's the Bangalore one.
no, but what you do, but you were over the moon. We were all excited about they've used Minister event. Good. that they've used Minister Ben, but also the connotation that they wanted you to use Minister Ben. You want them to say you can use anything except that. Like they said to me, okay, well, if I can use anything except that, I know it's the one that you don't want me to have. It's the only one I'm going to use. Because I'm not going to give myself to you. And so it was a step that that they took, that they showed you back with a receipt with Emma Ben on it. You know, they tried to do it here. They put Emma Ben on one of the charge sheets, and because if you imagine everything, the hypothesis is that everything that they want is secured behind the title Minister Emma Ben as far as titles go. And everything that those titles represent is secured somewhere else with something else that is indefinable, and that I would never disclose where that is. And the king can only claim what it is that if he knows where the treasure is, he doesn't know where it is, he can't claim it. So now you all know why that was never disclosed. Then why would you then, of course they're going to come then and say, we've made a charge sheet and we're going to use Minister event. Are you really? You don't know what it is? You want to put that? You think that it is what I have said it is on these listen to hacked Zoom calls anyway, and if you would only perceive it to be that if you wanted to use it as that. If you wanted to use Minister Emma Ben because it was there inside the SEC as secured on all of the stuff that you wanted to use that had stopped you being able to rape the rock of all of its rights like you were doing and capitalise on it, then you would want to use Minister Emma Ben, wouldn't you? So the minute that you see it, them, the agents of the dissolved state, turning around and saying, okay, well, we'll put Minister Emma Ben in here and serve you as Minister Emma Ben, bang! The shutters should be the what they call the blinds should rattle up from the obstructed brain or mind, and there you can see the light. Oh, if they want me to use Minister Emma Ben, I don't, and if they don't want to use Minister Emma Ben, I do. Do you need to pay somebody slave tokens to tell you that? Well, actually, yeah, we do. We need to pay Sunita or 3035 or whoever it is they're professing to be. Then, in order for us to be told that in multiple ways, multiple times, why? Because it stops us actually doing anything. I can always be in learn mode. I can always be sitting on my ass, telling myself that I'm actually doing something effective, but really what I'm doing is I'm hiding from the deed that I need to do, and that is Dave Harding through and through. Not only did he go and obstruct himself and not perform.
In the email, it was Dave Hardening.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I mean. And then she sends me an email saying, I don't know who he is. And then it's another one. Oh, and then I reply to him here. And so I'm not saying you know him like you've been in bed with him. Fuck's sake. I'm saying that you communicated with him on Facebook. I know.
No, like, she's really old and stuff, so
I haven't communicated with him. Here's another one of them communicating with somebody that I didn't communicate with. Hello. And you're telling these people, I'm Minister of Event and I can tell you how to do it and what to do, and you need to put your slave tokens in there and give us 800 quid. What? Where is the... Oh, okay, and just you forget to tell everybody that for every one slave token that you were using, we're still doing this. So for everybody who was listening, and there's not a lot of people because they've hijacked the YouTube site as well, and people listening in on the phones who haven't been invited to this. So I'll tell you as well, it's the banking system's turn this cycle. It's was right the way through, and there is no. That's why they've had to try to sell shares in the football, because they were going to use the football to indemnify themselves with. But you can't do that because it's the people's game and it's the people's funds. They're having to create a cooperative for the water companies here now, a non-profit operated construct, which is what it should be. Not that it's coming out the taxpayers, because there's no fucking taxpayers anymore. We've all turned around and said, well, who are we paying our tax to? And okay, here's the answer to that, guys. Follow the trail all the way up to the invaders of the Norman invasion and their descendants thereof. What else do you need to know to stop paying tax to them? Oh, okay, well, we'll have to create this new structure now because we haven't got any tax. Nobody's supporting feudalism anymore. Everybody knows that much. So we'll have to do it as a community project, which is what's being done. So the funds and the energy that a community create is what that community will have, and as an exemplification of the type of people that are in it. And at the minute, the type of people that are claiming to be in it are anything except in what I would say trust. And then I'm getting these emails saying, is she out of trust? Do you trust her? The fact that you are sending me an email, and they're all the same. Are they written by AI?
No, they're all being guided by her.
No, they all start off
It's
as
like the same. It's like Mr. Smith.
do you think they really exist? These people are they just being used like the Junta Punta Party as used?
Yeah. Same. These are the people. Yeah. The same channel, right?
They've changed one letter. I saw him on TV the other day, and they've changed one letter out of the legal title, haven't they? That's it. That may or may not have been implied to be 1160. Can you not see these people? However bad, I was just telling you that I've just watched an actor acting. Well, it was a spitting image of John Shackleton, and he's just been sent down allegedly as a cover story for 20 years for the fraud, misrepresentation, the Ponzi scheme of funeral directing. Really, it's because they've lost the Treaty of Nice and the EU legislation that they were using to justify their invasion of us and the occupation of us and the enslavement of us. That's gone. That's why they're all running around having to write up
Bretton Woods.
bilateral agreements. We're having to rewrite our border policy and our immigration policy and our review on our judicial system and because they haven't got anything, guys. We dissolved it all. And if you're going to sit around and let them do it and let them reassemble all of this without getting involved with creating the alternative, and I'm not talking about going and violence or fighting or buying into that shit. If there is no borders, never mind open borders, there isn't any borders. There's none. And so Italy, Maloney, Macaroni woman, whatever her name is, turning around now. Turning around and saying, I cannot have these fucking friends of mine. So turning it, so you've got the right wing of the same corrupted bird arguing with the left wing of the same corrupted bird about how many immigrants we should be allowing in or out of what? A line. There's a line, just like Dover. So there's a little bit of Dover now, a little bit of the rock that sticks out the water that they call by the English Channel, Dover. And they've put a line around it and a fence up, and you go through this line and suddenly you're in fucking France. And you have to give them fingerprints. Yeah, you have to give them your fingerprints and be treated like a prisoner of the EU. And before you can get on the Eurostar or through the port.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Well, if that's not evidence enough that you're all under Norman invasion and the invasion of Europe, all for the benefit of the hierarchy system that tried their best to get rid of us out of there so that they didn't have, because can you imagine us being able to exemplify in the length of time that we've been doing this here, what effects we would have had? It wouldn't have just been 1, 2, 3, 4 borders that we busted down, which was the devolution of this so-called United Kingdom. United under what? A bunch of fucking paedophile princes, I said to him. In the United Kingdom. Serious. Well, what kind of country would you like to see? Well,
Yeah.
one with more cunts than fucking Babylonian bollocks. Perhaps. I said.
I think I'm arriving.
What?
That's how they would say, well, after a session of intimacy. That's the joke basically over here at least. There was some guy, some comedian who said this. How English.
Well, I'm not doing third-party stories. I'm telling you what I told you myself. I'm telling you what I told them myself. I think this, I heard somebody say something about a TV, and now I'm going to go and buy one. It's a fucking TV, don't buy one, no matter what anybody says.
Mm.
There's a guy living in a caravan. Let's hear this one. I'll share it on the thing. There's a guy living in the caravan. He's put his MFN plates on his Mini, and he's claiming to have been inside the prison, and that he walked out of there because he was Minister MFN, and he got lasered in his pineal gland. And so the guy who's interviewing, who I'm sure is Ginger Straw Man, interviewing the other one, says to him, what about these rocks on here? And you see him laughing. He hasn't got a fucking clue what he's supposed to say about those rocks. I haven't got a clue. So I've emailed this channel and I just said that why don't you go back and ask him, what was it that made him think of the word MFN? Tell us. How did you come up with it?
Yeah.
This that. Where did it come from? What does it mean? Oh, it means that I can fasten, and the Mini is attached to the caravan. But yeah, do you know what I mean? The Mini's
It's like, do you remember what they put on us, the delusions of grandiose?
illusions of grandeur. There has to be a delusion
Yeah,
for us to be deluded from it.
yeah, so that's what I think 3035 landed up doing to herself, along with all the other guys.
But do you really think
They are delusional. If they think that they're gonna do this and not be absolutely watched by everyone now,
if
the crap. Huh?
minister means something in your mind, right? If minister means something in your mind, then you're deluded. You're deluded with the feudalism of hierarchy.
Yeah, like
That's
it's not that kind of minister. It's like ministering your energy and matter and movement. It's like guiding yourself. That's the kind of minister, right?
Well, I would keep your definitions.
Self-determination or whatever.
I would keep your definitions to yourself. If you're indefinable, don't be trying to define what minister is. In your definition, that's the point, right? And that's where people are falling down back into the hierarchy prison, because they think it means something. They think it means I can't get arrested. Let me explain. Minister MFM means you can arrest me and I will not return myself. That's what it means. And if you're going to pick up Minister MFN and use it and you're going to say I'm Minister MFN, then and you return yourself, then you are a government shill.
Should I play the video on this note?
Yeah, please. And obviously, this is how any kind of remedy or venue that's offering a remedy goes about, they disclose all of it and then see what your response is. That's what they've been doing all the time. They piss you and then you see what your response is. So consider this a universal fucking pitch in reverse with reverse charges. All of the evidence is coming out as to what it is that we've accumulated over this period of time when we've told you that this is not, we are not doing what we're doing because we're HS2 squatters and we want to protect the land of HS2. We're doing this because of something that we can't define. It's just a thing that makes us do it. Go on then, press play.
He's saying that he never thought he'd make something like this on a topic like this.
Pardon? I can't hear anything. Oh. Who is that? Me.
This is someone who was on the Telegram channels, and he's the one that she's saying that I set out to make him do this when this is his own determination after having 2 conversations with me, and then gone and done his own due
There's
diligence.
no sound. There's no sound. Just you talking.
I can hear it.
I can't.
Then how do I? My volume's full. Is there something up with your volume? Is it?
There's no, I can't hear him talking.
Okay, so basically this is the video once and meaning
Right, well,
he's
we'll put that up as well with this. If you play it at the end, if I come off, when I come off, if you
Yeah.
carry on playing it before you press stop on record, then hopefully, but I would set your setting to record. Have you got it on another device? Can you open it up on another device and play it? At the same
No.
time. Oh, we're doing syncing.
At the same.
Try it like that at the end.
Let me
Otherwise,
see.
we can put
No,
it
the volumes
on.
I can hear him just fine, and we'll just put a link to it in the video, in the comments.
Okay. Let's do that then. So explain what it is that I'm seeing here.
Sorry, just in 1 second. Let me just get it off.
So where is
Yeah.
well, you said you were going to put a video up of her taking money.
No, not of her taking money. This is the receipt of him having sent her that Bhandari account.
Oh, right, okay.
Sum. Yeah.
Right. That's to do with the email that you sent me.
That's to do with the email that this guy only sent you, the trust.
Right, got you. Okay.
The one that you responded to as well.
Right. That's the guy who has sent this money to her.
Yeah, exactly. And it totaled, I think, about 4,500 pounds amongst the 8 of them. There's more of them. This is just one guy who's brought up his mortgage discharge.
When we ran the analytics, whatever it's called, analysis on the website, we can see that they're being charged 140 quid a month. That's on the website.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I've heard from all of them.
We've been inside it.
Oh,
We've been inside the algorithms. They don't know who they're messing around with. We can see that we can see exactly what it is that's been going on and what's sitting in the background in the scripts that create the boxes on the screens. That's what we can see here at our end.
Oh, nice. You're at the quote then.
Yeah. And so we can see what if you want this, if you it's all written in the script, you see. So if you want this particular part of this information, then you pay this amount of money for it. It's there, and it's no greater than, and it's no less than. We can see. I think the thing that we brought down the system like we did, and had the on Thursday or Friday it was. Did I tell you that they've had to come screaming, saying that the West Yorkshire Police Information Help Desk has been hacked, and all of the
No.
data. Well, it was West Yorkshire Police apparently who had this database that all of the other police could see. So they fabricated whatever it is that they wanted everybody else to see inside there. And they used that database then to incriminate you with and bang you up with. And that information was when you asked for a search for the data with Ministry of Justice database, no records found. So we brought that system down by merging those two pieces of information, those two databases together, and they've said that we've been hacked because it's the truth that is the hack to the lie. And that's it. That's what we're in this for, the truth. And because we've made the truth priceless, there's no point in drip feeding the truth or charging people for the truth or charging people for lying even.
But
because
we're not charging anyone. Yeah. It's just
they've
for
even had to
community.
go. They've even had to go and define contracts, their employment law, their contract law, the competition, the markets. And I'm looking through all of the documents, looking for the document relating to fish. And I find all of these documents that, that we've written, there's things that we've put into place to say that this is our definition of it. And until this is done, there is no indemnification. Because we can't indemnify lies, we can't indemnify fraud, we can't indemnify coercing people to make a false claim that they can't prove, such as we'll start with that thing that you say when I ask what your name is. That's it.
Yeah.
And so they've had to, there's a video of me reading out about the definitions of valid contracts and the rule of law, all of that. There's something else standing up and saying these things. They'll tell you about the Irish guy who's gone into one of the committee meetings and they'd said, well, why haven't you got this report ready? And it's supposed to be ready now. And he said, well, the first quarter of each year is counted as the 13th month, isn't it? Oh, good silence, absolute silence. And he's like, these are our guys. These are the people who we've had in the background who haven't come out and they've worked their way into the system to be able to. We don't want to go and sit in the fucking Houses of Parliament or behind a desk and judge people or go and have to police the police. But if we didn't do it, you would all be jacked up with a COVID jab and you'd be using cryptocurrency. They've had to dissolve the hypothesis that we have a digital ID in this country. Why? Because somebody went and hacked it with an eyeball.
Yeah.
That's why.
I remember
And we
that.
don't mind admitting it. The thing is that we put them on notice that this is what we're doing. We haven't lied. So then they turned around and said, oh, we're doing away with jury trials now. Well, okay, you're not doing away with jury trials. Watch this. Watch what happens. What is it that we do? We do not buy into the belief that you are an insignificant little speck and you can't change anything because you're just one individual. No, we're not buying that. We've proven beyond our shadows and brought everything out of the shadows that that's not true. That is the lie. Everything you do, think, spend your mind on, focus on, counts. And they have been accounting for the thing that they told you didn't count, which is your potential of creation. So if anybody cannot go and create off the back of this, such as instead of £800 in a fiat currency account somewhere that's created 8 million 10 to the power of 10,
Seriously.
and you haven't got a fucking carrot between you or a stick of turmeric, then you're a capitalist and you're just keeping it going in fiat currency, and you are not trusted by me one bit, one byte, one pixel, nothing, nothing. You got 0 in the box for that 3035. So that's what I wanted to say on this recording about all that. And just to keep it coming, if anybody wants to, have they got any queries or they've got any questions, start with, why is it that I can't contact 010 anymore? Why? Well, because I'm going on a website and it's not there. And we want to thank the mother for all the wonderful information that we're now selling back to you. Way to go, guys! Way to go! Okay, now it's exactly the opposite of what it was.
The All Mother. So, just to correct you, the All Mother. Mata.
I don't. What are we talking about? The Rock now? Even the Rock. So because Maloney Macaroni has turned around and said, we don't want the immigrants, I'm going to kick Spain out of a Schengen treaty that doesn't exist anymore because the EU treaty is falling apart. This is Spain's exit from the system of EU jurisdiction. The Earth has sent an earthquake to Naples. In just the same way that when they did what they did to us in another place, an earthquake came, it went up through the water, up the harbour and straight into the door of the shop that they burgled all of our stuff out while we were in the resort. Cracked all the wall, that one building out of a whole row of them. Target, directed force. The universe has got a conduit to work through, and it's been unleashed, and it will exemplify and highlight exactly who is who and what is what, and deal with them accordingly. It's what the Greek people would call nemesis and themis. Which
I was just thinking about nemesis today. Earlier.
No, I don't know about you, but I don't want a bit of that. I don't. Is anybody who thinks that I might have an ulterior motive? I know what's in store for people who do that.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the same perception. I'm not saying, that you would ever have your mind involved in any of that. We're just,
I'm just getting it out there, the fact that, and that's why we could do it. And that's why we were chosen to do it out of all of the people that said to me, so...
Oh, no, wait. She might record you and tell everyone that, see, 010 wants to start a separate thing with me because she said we were chosen. Oof.
I didn't say that we chose 3035 to do it. I'm saying that we were chosen to do it because it didn't it didn't matter if they shouted, you're going to prison for 2 life sentences. I know I'm not going to prison for 2 life sentences. Why? Because I know that I haven't done the things that you said that I've done. That's it. That's the trust. I know that every time you lay one of these claims against me, you're claiming against your own definitions, because that's what we've said is a misrepresentation. We've agreed. We've got them to agree with us that their system is gross misrepresentation of truth. That's it. And that it's unlawful, therefore. But we had to use ourselves to do that. I said to everybody, go around, get yourself arrested and say these things when you get arrested, and this is what will happen. And it does. And if you don't, and at any time you up the legal fiction and you can come out, but you can live your conscience afterwards. That's a price that kept me away from changing my fucking menu or making a phone call, because I would have to live with myself. What kind of thing would I be if I had told everybody to do these things and then got in there myself and gone, oh, let me out, I want to tell you.
Yeah, same, exactly. Like
Exactly.
how could I,
And so that is what,
talk about it if I hadn't done
that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, that's where the trust is, out of trust or in trust. If somebody hasn't got that, then I wouldn't be trusting them. And that's why if it ever comes to anything where a document needs to be sent, I know that if I ask you to do it, or you even know that you need to do it, because you're not stuck in this, well, I need to be able to contact you by phone call or whatever. I can
it.
tap into the internet and I can say, hello, can anybody hear me? And a little
Yeah.
voice from the bottom of the bed says,
Yeah.
hello. What? What is that?
I,
Oh, whatever that is,
I had the same thing on this side.
and whatever that is available to anybody who wants to try. And that's what we talk about in that book as ministering in mind. It is at that point where you realize that you didn't ever need anybody else except yourself to be able and connected to your source, all of our source, the collective consciousness. Tap into that and it is all there. And these people that run around and tell you that you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to put some money in here and you need to pay that, they're blocking you. They're obstructing you, and you need to get them out of the way and tap in and tune in. And so, well, I've offered many years ago to do gamma with people and take them through that and move your brainwaves into gamma. But we've all been stuck in the fight in the system with the slave tokens because of our right to shelter being blackmailed and used as a tool to manipulate us with. That's gone. We dissolved and abolished the use of the Vagrancy Act, because we were all homeless under a feudal system. So it's the idea of getting rid of all of this bureaucracy was so that we could go and exercise our right to roam and our right to grow. Where they're all complaining about the price of the ultra processed food in fucking Sainsbury's. What?
It's all gone
What are
through
you
the
doing? And they're all like, well, what shall we do? What is it that it's going to take for us to be able to support our communities?
They've got 85% ethanol now coming out over here, or they're already in the petrol pumps.
85%
80,
ethanol.
yeah, they're mixing 85% ethanol into petrol that will go into the cars. That's actually going to, well, reports have it that it's going to spoil the engine.
We've got the energy companies turning around now and admitting that, well, BP has had to put itself up for sale, to put the North Sea drilling outfit that it's had there for 40 years up for sale. Because they're not allowed to use it. You can have it, but you can't use it.
Yeah.
Not when while they're talking about how you can use water for transportation, that we've already known about. You know, it's got really easy called steam, and you don't have to. You can actually create the energy by using salt water and fresh water. It's ions. So all of this is coming out where they're even saying today, I think it was yesterday, that it's the biggest police reform that's going on for 200 years. Yeah, because we didn't have them before then. You know, the reformation, the restoration, the reconstruction of reality is what everybody's experiencing. If they can't see that it was a Ponzi system, it would be a Ponzi system if we'd asked you all to pay us. So the fact, did you know that you're supposed to be a millionaire as well as me? I mean, I
Yeah,
won't even
yeah.
go and get my fucking teeth fixed. I look like I've fucking crawled out from under a bush because I won't do it. This guy keeps coming and saying to me, "Oh, look, we can put some bleach and some highlights in your hair. What, so you can make you really pretty? Off. Why don't you put some makeup on? Why don't you fuck off? When are you going to get your teeth fixed? When I can trust who it is that I'm letting loose in my gob." Because my teeth need fixing if I hadn't let the people that I was told that I could trust. Did you know that we've got rid of the NHS? There's a document that anybody can go and see about the NHS being abolished since 2023. And that's because they used the Mental Health Act on us. And so we've now having a restructuring of the
Delusions of
healthcare
grandeur.
system. And it's the community, and it's healthcare and adult care and social care all together. Can't separate one thing. Let's say, right, you're going to deal with adult social care, and you go into these adult social care homes, and you see your loved one laid on the bed, and it's a fucking prison cell. They put them in I've seen better prison cells than these healthcare homes. So we did something about it. And the people who were given the opportunity to do it, but they didn't have the conviction to stand on, are the ones who slag us off and well, pirate off our energy and then stand on our shoulders and take the fucking credit. I did write that we can have the credit for the restoration if the restoration is done like this, but that was the credit as far as you know, the thing that they thought that they needed in order to do it. But because I didn't define that, it's these cover stories I was telling you, you know, seeing these people actually wheeled out and these stories. Yes, there were we did need regulation relating to people taking our dead loved ones, and so we set an exemplification with Bishop what it should have been like. And his mum came and said thank you that it hadn't been taken immediately, and she could go into the freezing conservatory, which was clean and hygienic, where he's wrapped in a freezing bag to keep him from decaying and decomposing, at the funeral director who I'd gone and got to come to, so that they couldn't say that I was obstructing a lawful burial. No, fuckers, you are. You're obstructing this man's consent that he wants to pass through unbonded and disconnected from your feudal system, and he's gone. That's how you get out of the matrix, by metamorphosizing in the arms of somebody who would go to prison for your rights to do that if you so chose to. And you know, if we're going to have a load of people that represent us, then we'll have a load of people like that. Otherwise, it's gross misrepresentation. And until we've got these people that are prepared to do that, that are prepared to go and put themselves in positions such as we've done, in order for other people to be able to inherit the benefit of that, don't return the favour by standing on the shoulders of giants and saying, oh, this is what I did, and this is me doing this, and here I am and living in a caravan when wrapped in aluminium, you fuckwit. Aluminium's a conductor for a start off, and that mini is
exactly. I don't get why it's called the tinfoil hat.
That mini is not going to pull that caravan. It's not.
Yeah.
But we did have 2 mini stolen offers. And there are pictures of us with aluminium foil wrapped around our head, taking the piss out of people who think that aluminium is going to protect you. So instead of talking about a Faraday cage around your phone made out of copper, or wrapping your caravan in copper, you've got copper coils inside next to your Nescafe fucking coffee. Do you think that we're all fucking stupid? Honestly. And, you know, so I was saying that, you know, I sent an email to the guy who's supposed to be running this channel, and I just said, do you want to come and get it from the horse's mouth? So I haven't heard back from them, as you can imagine, because it's like me. We could do this, all right? I could interview you, and or I could actually better. I could interview them and get her to tell us about how she went on when she was inside the prison, and that what she did, and how she portrayed herself as Minister Emma for 15 fucking months, and what trials and tribulations she was put through, and the kind of things they came and asked her, and how she didn't quit, and how she put her trust in the thing that she talks about having, but she can't because she didn't, just like the guy living in that caravan didn't. So why anybody would, I can't imagine. Oh, actually, I did do this once, and I'll admit this because it's full disclosure, and we can't. I had a friend who was a really great artist, right? This will, okay. And so I'm just having a chat with Gloria. She's saying, "Don't say it." Oh, I'm saying, "Don't say it." My ego's saying, "Don't say it." Fuck it, I'm saying it. So she'd drawn this really amazing abstract picture in art, right? And she'd done all of this really beautiful art, and she couldn't carry it all home when we went from school in the summer. So she said, "I'm going to throw these away." I was like, "No, don't throw them away. I love them." So I took this one and I entered it into a competition at the Young Farmers, fucking farm show, right? And I think she comes and it wins third prize, right? So it's stuck there on the table. I'm gallivanting around with the animals and stuff, and she comes storming over, and she was there, yeah. So she comes storming over, and she's like, "Give me that fucking rosette." So I said, "No." So she said, "That's my rosette." So I suppose it's, I suppose I've looked at it like this, and I thought, right now, well, maybe it's my settlement that's because I presented somebody else. But that's all, the only thing I've done. It's the only bad thing that I've done that I can think of, off the top of my head right now, that would fall into that kind of definition of presenting somebody else's work and a bit of plagiarism. But in the end, I have to admit, I did give her the rosette. But there was a heated argument about the fact that she didn't value it, and you know, I presented it, and so really, you know, I deserve what I'm getting really with them copying the website. So I put it down to that, and you know, but I did give her the rosette. So you know, at least put my, if you're going to do this, at least put my email address on it, so that the people that you're saying
No,
can help.
they can't because it's mixed completely. It's become an abomination.
Just like a documents. I mean, oh God, when
Meaning,
somebody,
yeah, they they made it so tacky as well.
it looks like AI did it, and AI did do it, so that showed up on the analytic thing as well that was
Oh,
run
it
on
did.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
what they've been doing. So
it's been
whatever I
abused
used to
AI.
speak to them about, so this is 2078. And there's another claim made by 3035 saying that 2078 was out of trust. So 20781, who's connected to him, is also doesn't exist anymore, is not valid anymore. I was like, love, that doesn't work. The ledger doesn't work like that. I don't know what's wrong. What you're thinking.
They've done us a favour, really, because the people who, while I was away, that used AI ended up, you know, where they'd had the right of use of the shelter all the time that they didn't mix these jurisdictions. All of a sudden, it's gone. And so the only thing that changed was you added to the administration of it and used AI. So they have proven that AI, we have proven altogether that AI has got no validity to it whatsoever. The data sets have got no validity to it. It doesn't know what it's fucking talking about. And when the people who inputted the data get caught out, they blame AI, say that it's been hacked, and it all disappears. Just like West Yorkshire Police's fucking Informan, the database. So we sent an email on Thursday and it was gone by Friday. Because
that's nice.
how it works is so you've got AI saying you need to give us this and this. If you want data access, you need to disclose your name, your address. If your name is different to the name on the claim, your relationship with it, blah, 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 blah. So I gave it a logic of its own logic, the logic that is illogical about its system, and put this name is not the same as this name, and neither names are valid. What is it you suggest we disclose to you to try to get a match in your system? If you haven't given us the data in the first place, and then when we're going to play the guess the name that you put our data behind game, then you give us a receipt for it, and then so we use the number instead. So you use the reference number that they've used to enter into the system to do the search with by attaching the attachment, but you don't put it in line, then because somebody with some fucking eyes and a finger has to actually open it. And the minute that they did that was the minute that AI was proven to be invalid. And so then what we've got is a claim that's got a fabricated title on it that hasn't got an account that has attached to it a bond that will indemnify or be implied to indemnify the charges that have occurred in this title. So and then if you want me to give you a legal fiction that you have got a bond with in order for you to launder that for giving me the answer to the question that I shouldn't be asking in the first fucking place, then when I put that in, you're going to come back with no records found for the one that's got a bond attached to it. We're not going to be able to get the information that's behind the variation of a title because the AI can't search for that. It hasn't got the capacity to be able to differentiate, just like the fucking idiot with the original source who did have fingers and an eyeball, who inputted it into their mainframe. So whoever it was who laid the claim and misspelt your names, now lay that is to be prosecuted for misrepresentation. Lay that across everything then. So I need full disclosure in contracts, and I need to be able to identify the culprit, the party I'm making the claim against. If I can't do those two things, of course the fucking judicial system's going to collapse and I'm going to have to call it rack. And so that's what they were doing. But it wasn't that they were doing it with a misspelt version of the name. They were doing it with the version that was spelt in any fucking way, shape or form on any legal instrument that were manifest or issued.
Yeah.
So the legal instrument with a driving license was sent up to DVLA and said, can you tell us what's fucking real about this? Because somebody presented it and they were told it was fake and got arrested. Doing. Bang went DVLA. So if a little bit of truth can do this to this hypothesis that is just one big unsubstantiated claim on a box that finally got labelled COVID so that you could all recognise it, and then we opened the box and inside there was all of these other unsubstantiated claims. And the one that's last to come out of the box, guess what it is? Birth certificate. That's it. So why would anybody use it? Why would anybody accept to be coerced into making a false claim in order to try to validate themselves or who they are or where they come from or how many dead bodies they've stopped from being allowing the soul to metamorphosize out of the grid from. And that's what we do. We help you minister your mind to a degree where you don't need to be using a third-party interloper. Even if he is from America and he's got his Popey outfit on. By now, just changing the number from 00 to 3035 doesn't give you the same thing. It doesn't give you the exemplification of what that is. And what that is a thing that gives freely, even when the agreements of exchange have been shattered and not upheld. I've got all of these people still using Minister Ramadan at their addresses and stuff. I don't contact them. Even though I said that, we would. I don't do that because what? So fuck your Ponzi scheme. We don't even go and do what it is that a Ponzi scheme would do, which is to go and collect a debt. We don't even do that because we know the debts are settled in a much more universal way than anything that could come of somebody knocking on the door, turning up at your caravan and saying, prove your claim. There'll be a great big fucking flood there and he'll turn it into a boat and then he'll be back in mercantile law and a breach of a bank. I won't fucking sit there if I were you. I really wouldn't. Too much water to be pretending that you're not operating in the law of the sea. Did you see where they're not allowed to use that either? They've got to re-establish where does the law of the sea come in. And so they've used this massive fault, like an underwater, well, it's a cliff, really. And they've said that when it gets down to a certain depth and hits the seabed at that point, it's not the fucking seabed, mate, it's the rock. It's Alas. When you hit Alas, any fucking depth, you're on the land. So they can't establish where the international sea goes because of what we've done. You can't say that. You can't say that I'm not on the land when I'm 10,000 leagues above the seabed. You cannot because the water is on the land.
If water is level, it needs to have a container.
Well, and like dikes and little gullies cut into it to let it flow.
Which it makes its own way. Be like water.
Be like water.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
I'd rather be like rock. Did you know that?
No, like in terms of it can make its way through any crevice that way.
It'll wear you down in the end, that's for sure. because really rock is just a little bit of filtered out parts of the water, and the water is parts of liquidated rock. What is wrong with people? It's the same fucking thing in different forms. If I boil it, it turns into a gas, and I'm going to call it steam. They had to come out on TV this morning and say that and admit that the vaccines and the tablets were made from snake venom.
Yeah, this is what I've been also discussing with people a lot. Eight kinds of snake venom.
Yeah.
And mostly all these things are made using Gila monster venom. And well, pretty easy researched and investigated cure is nicotine.
I want to see the evidence of this claim that you're a millionaire now. Is it because you've got your arm on a boat with it's got namaste on it?
Man, no, it's just because what they've done is they've misidentified me as a certain legal title, gone and looked up the whole family tree of that guy or whatever that poor guy. I don't even know who they're looking at, and then assuming I'm a millionaire.
Do you know that that's a story that I told on here about that because I knew that they would then go and use that, right? They would go in, so that it was all superimposed. I don't even know if there is a book called Namaste.
No, that's just greeting.
It's that we've seen you, these scabs. It's like we've seen you on social media. I said, are you using social media to try to identify people with your malacca? It's all AI. It was done for purpose. So taking, and it's not even in the name that you're trying to use anyway. You fucking idiot.
No, it's hilarious. That's why I keep saying it's hilarious. Every mail that I send you, I keep saying it's hilarious because it's like it. Listen, we see what you're doing. Can you just stop? Like it doesn't augur well to have to, you know, lash out at someone who should know better because they pretend to. Just stop, and it'll all be fine. We can let the universe's energies flow properly for once. Hello, where is she? All right, let me play. But this is schedule A is not any case. This is not the correct structure either. So how did they do the exemplification without any documents? All right then. So if need be, I'll upload more of that. But that is the handle that you can go on to see the rest of it as well. This is just a small example of what's been happening. So since I said I would play the video after, but gotta go. I will see you guys later. Bye bye.